America, your 250 years means nothing to me. While you were celebrating your independence, we were in bondage. While you were celebrating your independence, we were in chains. While you were celebrating your independence, our families were ripped apart. We were beaten, raped, stripped of our very identity while you were celebrating your independence. While you celebrated your independence, we were lynched. While you celebrated your independence, we were Jim Crow. While you celebrated your independence, we were forced to go to segregated schools and forced to sit in the colored section in the back of the bus while you were celebrating your independence. While you celebrated your independence, we were subjected to literacy tests and poll taxes. While you celebrated your independence, while you celebrated your independence, our churches were bombed and our babies were killed. While you celebrated your independence, while you celebrate your independence today, our right to vote has been diluted and our voices diminished. While you celebrate your independence today, young black men like Cyrus lose their lives and there's no justice while you celebrate your independence. So yeah, your 250 years means nothing to me.
In case you haven't heard, this 4th of July marks the 250th anniversary of the United States of America. There are going to be great and many celebrations across the country to observe it, but my question is, after all we have been through over the last 250 years and before, should black people be celebrating the 250th anniversary of the birth of this country? Let's face it, we were not brought here as immigrants, we were brought here as imports. We were not counted as full human beings in the Constitution, but 3/5 of a man. We were bound, shackled, raped, sold, lynched, and more. Then there was a civil war over us, and while the freedom side won, it wasn't long before segregation replaced slavery. Then for a brief hiatus, we had great strides, and now we're back at Jim Crow 2.0 in 2026. So I repeat, should black people celebrate the 250th anniversary of the United States of America?
This July 4th, America's turning 250 years old, but American slavery did not end until 163 years ago. In 1776, in the home of the brave, blacks were still enslaved. It wasn't until 1787 that we were considered 3/5 of a person and still remained property. In the Dred Scott case of 1857, it was ruled that black slaves were not considered American citizens. Therefore, the abolishment of slavery in the Western territories was prohibited. 5 years later, Lincoln signed the Emancipation Proclamation, and it wasn't until 1865 that the slaves of Galveston, Texas, were aware that they were freed. So excuse us for not pledging our allegiance or yelping out the Star-Spangled Banner, but enjoy the fireworks show.
The US will celebrate 250 years of America this summer, but let's be real about what these years were really about. Number 1, genocide of Native Americans. Number 2, abducting and enslaving black Africans. And right now, funding Israel's genocide in Gaza with your money. Let's look at the real American timeline for a second. 1776, America is founded on stolen land and enslaved people. 1830s to the 1890s, systematic genocide of Native Americans. 1950s to present day, America funds wars, coups, and occupations across the global south.
As America approaches its 250th anniversary, we are telling the stories that were never written down. Because not every American family story begins with immigration, or independence, or freedom. Some begin long before 1776. Some begin on this land with families who never crossed an ocean because they were already here. If our ancestors could speak, they might begin by reminding us that Native American families were not lost. They were removed. Before removal, there was belonging. Before there were borders, there were nations. Before there were states, there were kinship systems, complex, intentional, and sacred. Families were not just nuclear units, they were clans, communities, stories carried through generations. Children knew where they belonged. They knew their names. They knew who they came from. Identity was not a question. Then came policies. If our ancestors could speak, they would tell us that removal was not accidental. It was designed. Families were forced from their homelands under laws that treated indigenous people as obstacles to progress. The Trail of Tears was not just a march. It was the shattering of families. Parents buried children along the way. Elders collapsed from exhaustion. Entire family lines disappeared between forced departure and arrival. Those who survived were expected to start over on land that was never theirs. If our ancestors could speak, they might speak of the children, because the next policy was not just about land. It was about identity. Native children were taken from their families and placed into boarding schools. They were given new names. Their hair was cut. Their languages were forbidden. Their ceremonies were punished. They were told, kill the Indian, save the man. Families who tried to resist were threatened. Children learned very quickly that survival meant silence. Many children never returned home. Some died at the schools. Some forgot their languages. Some grew up unable to speak to their parents. Entire generations lost the ability to pass down who they were. Grandparents could not teach what had been beaten out of them. This was not assimilation. This was erasure.
As we celebrate the 250th year of the United States of America, my beautiful people, we have not overcame. And it is not Independence Day for us on July the 4th. Because that dream he had, he's somewhere asleep, still dreaming. Because we're nowhere near it. The new cotton field is the prison system. Your credit score, poverty, below poverty levels, homosexuality. All of it is orchestrated by them to keep you in the same place your ancestors was in.